5 stupid Pokemon with surprisingly elaborate inspirations at the time of writing this article. There are currently 71 Pokemon, about 151 of which are actually any good depending on how much of the tool the person you ask is. With nearly 1,000 different Pokemon out there, it's understandable that not all of them are going to be winners. As it turns out though, some of the stupidest and laziest looking Pokemon in the series have actually had some of the most thought put into their design. For example, just consider 5. Nosepass the Lame. Nosepass looks like someone glued big false nose onto a lump of granite and then tried to hit it with a car. It's so angular and dumb looking, if you squint hard enough you could realistically mistake it for a potato cosplaying as Johnny Depp. The Awesome. According to its official Pokédex entries, Nosepass functions almost identically to a compass and can often be found pointing due north unless someone has farted in that general direction fairly recently. Far from being something someone pulled out of their ass, this trait is based on something called the ethmoid bone. Found between the skull and nasal cavity. In birds, the ethmoid bone is said to be linked to their ability to sense the Earth's magnetic field. Although humans also possess an ethmoid bone, we can't use it to sense magnetic fields or even to ruin credit cards. That explains why Nosepass has such a huge, oversized nose to make up for the fact if it had normal, human proportions it wouldn't be able to sense magnetic fields or stick iron filings to its face. 4. Klefki the Lame. Klefki is a bunch of keys. There's probably a much funnier way we could word that, but we didn't know how we could make fun of a Pokemon that already looks exactly like something we have nestled in our pockets 2 inches to the left of our nuts. We're actually going to stop talking about this thing just because we're that intrigued about what in the hell a set of keys that is also somehow a fairy could be based on that would make it so cool. The Awesome. A pagan tradition of blaming fairies for your problems. More specifically and in more words, Klefki is partially based on an old superstition that fairies like to entertain themselves by stealing keys and other similarly inconsequential objects. As a result, followers of the pagan faith sometimes blame missing keys and other such shenanigans on fairies because they are whimsical like that. And that explains why Klefki, which is a fairy-type Pokemon, is noted as being a big fan of collecting keys, which it presumably steals from people who are stupid enough to try locking their flimsy wooden doors in a world where 20-foot-long snakes made of diamond hard coal exist. 3. Sudowoodo the Lame. In the games, Sudowoodo is a Pokemon that blocks access to a critical in-game path by disguising itself as a tree until the 10-year-old protagonist sprays it with a squirt bottle. If that sentence doesn't already make you feel a little uncomfortable, we should also point out that Sudowoodo looks like someone drew a caricature of a child molester's face onto a Slim Jim. The Awesome. Now, it's never really explained in the games or anime why this Pokemon has such an intense need to disguise itself as a tree, especially when it's explicitly mentioned that it hates one of the things trees need to live: water. However, it's stated that Sudowoodo is a rock-type Pokemon. This has led fans to surmise that Sudowoodo is based on petrified wood, or wood that has undergone the process of fossilization and become rock. This is supported by Sudowoodo's name, which could be viewed as being a phonetic spelling of the word pseudo, which means false, and the word wood with an extra O slapped on the end for style. Meaning Sudowoodo's name literally translates to false wood or something that looks like wood but isn't.
Subscribe now.